the traditional project planning with next-day Gantt. And for many projects, especially in the, let's say, enterprise environment, such time-based planning is really essential. You need to understand who is responsible for each task, how the tasks interrelate, how they depend to each other, and also how they are aligned with the project milestones. So let me go back now to Polarion and focus on this traditional conservative time-based method and how we can handle it in Polarion. So I already told you that in this particular demo project, and everything what I'm presenting is just based on this sample configuration, but please keep in mind that all the views and all the, let's say, Gantt charts and planning boards can be adjusted to your terminology, to your project management approach. What we present is just one sample that we have already replicated for many customers, but we also have an option for high flexibility. So in this case, the work breakdown structure is quite simple, that we start with the work package, where the work package is actually connected with the system requirements. This could be one-to-many relationships. So one work package can, let's say, implement multiple system or software design requirements. In addition to that, the work package is broken down into the subtasks, which are later assigned to individual engineers. On the level of the work package, we already see that the work package is assigned to a given team. So let's say assignee is just an owner responsible for a given work package, but it's not a person that works on all of that, let's say, capabilities. Let's say this can be done by several engineers, system, software, hardware. And this is really important once we'll be measuring the actual effort, because what is then important is that the given work package is assigned for a particular team. The second important, let's say, aspect here is that there is a notion of the release, where the release, let's say in this case, there is a document with standard milestones and releases. And this is typically common for a given project, and how you may work is that you assign also a given work package to be delivered latest in the scope of specific target release. So the first thing is that, of course, I may, let's say, see the different releases and how, let's say, what is supposed to be done there. I can build in Polarion many reports that nicely measures, let's see, the progress of the given release. But what we do on top of that is that we can actually present a release timeline, or let's say team timeline. So in this particular case, it's the first time you really see the Gantt interface connected to the work breakdown structure. So we see the traditional work packages and tasks here on the left side, and on the right side there is a report that visualizes the timeline, how the team will be working on top of the activities. You can have the view, let's say, parameterized by a different team. So we are here showing just, let's say, the schedule for the team alpha. We see, let's say, that there are also some dependencies between activities. So for example, if we, let's say, dive deeper into this one, we can say, okay, this particular work package is being blocked by another one which comes later. So if we expand it, we see that let's see, there are dependencies across of multiple work packages. There can be dependencies between tasks as well. So what I can do is I can not only use this as a report, but it's also fully interactive interface. Let me show you what I mean by that. So if you go here into here we have a simple work package which has an unfinished task. I can just drag it on a timeline, and the system automatically, let's say, will set the start date and end date as a custom fields of this particular activity. I can actually compare it with any particular baseline. I can see that there is a notion of dependency. So if I, let's say, select a particular item, I see that this one has that particular item as prerequisite, and because of that, I see it highlighted. So what I should probably do, I should say that this one can be implemented only after that particular topic, but then this one shall also be, let's say, planned later. Here on the top, we can visualize the additional milestones like the program increments, but I will speak about it later today. What is now more important is that we see that we can use this view to show a timeline of a specific project plan, filtered, for example, by release or by team. And here on the bottom, I see how are the team members actually, let's say, loaded or overloaded with specific activities. And let me see here, Robert, the project. So I filter for everything that Robert is working on. I'll get this task and I'll move it here to the left because here is where we have the data prepared. And we see here that first, Robert is over allocated. He's supposed to work 11 hours a day. That's of course something which is not achievable, but even we see that with 7.7 hours a day, he is still over allocated. He's actually over allocated by 4.7 hours because his resource capacity is 3 hours. Where do we have this data? Where do we load it from? You remember, we have our team assignments where we define that Robert, the project, is working 50% in the context of Team Alpha. 50% is 4 hours. But remember, there is also a buffer, 25%, which is for outstanding work, which is 25% of 4 hours is 1 hour. That's how we get to this total resource capacity 3 hours a day, which if I zoom out, I have nicely also aggregated per month. So we see here that overall Robert's capacity per month is 108 hours, but the resource capacity is only 45 hours a month. If you will actually zoom in the future, because I told you about this specific buffer that applies for things in the future being unclear, you would see that the total resource capacity is 2.6 hours, which is this 10% less because these assignments are in the future, where because they're in the future, there is a likelihood that something will step in. Maybe there will be additional sick day, maybe, I mean, the items were not properly estimated, so that's why the additional buffer is applied. We are seeing that such a Gantt is a useful representation to manage the lower, or let's say downstream level assignments, where we really speak about assigning tasks to individual engineers. But of course, I can apply the same view on a higher level. Here, we see the view where we see the release timeline. So when are the actual releases being scheduled? Releases are being actually categorized by different disciplines. And what we can also see is that the releases may have the, let's say, the additional work items below, which is the work breakdown structure. We already know that a given work package is being assigned to a release via this target release custom field. So we can have a view where we see a different structure, but still connected to the same data in Polarion. And here on the bottom, instead of seeing how the people are being, let's say, utilized or overutilized, we see the actual teams. Again, with calculating what is the team capacity available, allocated, and what is the actual capacity based on the people being assigned over the given timeline. Again, we also see the dependencies across multiple teams. So if I see here, deadline is highlighted. If I actually zoom in here, we see that that particular work package is depending on this particular work package, which is the, let's say, break in the dependencies, and which will probably result into not delivering this in time. So to properly fix it, I should probably move it. Of course, we can probably, let's say, trigger on the auto scheduling of dependencies. So when I schedule this one is automatically postponed. But here we see that due to that, maybe the team alpha is overloaded because of too many assignments. So you see that we can get a lot of information from the specific views, because we can really see that by just moving this, I mean, there was a conflict with additional features, which results into being likely in risk of delivering a specific feature in time.